Hello, my name is Stacie Coleman. According to SurveyMonkey, 75% of you all use or all support a foundation, but half of you don't know where your support goes within that foundation. I've been an avid supporter of the Susan G. Komen Foundation since my aunt died when I was 7 years old, so I wanted to know exactly where my money went, so that's why I kind of went on this topic. The point of my presentation is I'm going to inform you about the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and then I'm going to, after I'm done, you'll know more about how the foundation supports breast cancer survivors and how people can support the foundation itself. I'm going to talk to you about the history of the Susan G. Komen Foundation. I'm going to talk to you about how it supports breast cancer survivors and how people like you and I can get involved to help the foundation itself. The foundation was made by Nancy Brinker. She's depicted in this picture here, and she made a promise to her sister Susan G. Komen that she would do everything in her power to end breast cancer. And after Susan's battle in 1982, Nancy fulfilled that promise by starting the Susan G. Komen Foundation. And according to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the foundation has given over $2 million to support breast cancer research since 1980. I'm gonna, now that they have changed, like I've showed you how they've changed the world of breast cancer, I want to tell you about how they changed the lives of individual people who are affected by breast cancer. They have 37% of their budget from 2011 went toward education of breast cancer alone. They just wanted to inform people about breast cancer. The next largest chunk is 23%, and it was about research and awards. And I did a little more research into the awards, and it was based on scholarships and grants. So like children of women who have died of breast cancer can get scholarships, or girls themselves who are fighting breast cancer can get scholarships to go to school. The next one I found that was really cool is 16% of their budget goes towards screening. So women who can't afford to get mammograms and things like that, they afford, or they pay for those women to get that screening. And the next one that I thought was really cool was they pay, like 7% of their budget goes towards treatment. So they pay for men and women who can't afford the treatment because they've had to quit their job or they just don't have medical coverage and things like that. According to It's Just About Being Fair by Amy Blackstone, another one that they talked about was they have an annual fashion show, and this fashion show is, the models are breast cancer survivors. So it's really cool. It's a day where they can be beautiful if they don't feel beautiful or things like that. They get makeovers, and for women who've lost their hair due to the breast cancer treatments and things like that, they'll provide wigs, they'll provide do the consultations and all of that for these women just so they feel amazing, if it's only just for one day. And then another thing that they do is they don't only support the women, they support the clinics. So they provide clinics with mammogram equipment and things like that because it's extremely expensive and some clinics can't afford it, and so you've got to get the equipment out to people. The Susan G. Komen Foundation cannot be successful without help from people like you and I. And their #1 fundraiser, which is depicted here, is Race for the Cure. It's held within over 100 cities to this day. And they have just hundreds and hundreds. It's throughout the year. They have races all the time. You can go to numerous ones throughout the year. But if you can't necessarily, if you're not athletic and you don't want to race or you don't want to do a marathon, you can just volunteer your time. And you can volunteer at fundraisers like Race for the Cure, or you can do it at like the fashion show or things like that. You can do anything and everything. You can apply your time at their offices. You can do anything to help with time. And if, like always, if you can't necessarily do time, they do take cash donations online. You can set it up to be a one-time payment or a one-time donation of like $5 or $100. Doesn't matter. You can do monthly. They're accept anything because any amount of money will help this foundation and go towards supporting the cause. So I hope that I have made you informed about the Susan G. Komen Foundation and how it helps women. So I talked to you about the history, I talked to you about how they support breast cancer survivors, and I also talked to you about how people like you and I can get involved to help this foundation. If you take nothing else from my presentation, I want you to remember that Susan G. Komen has done so much towards working to end its, or to solve its initial problem, or promise to end breast cancer. Thank you for your time. Does anybody have any questions?